Today's job is to modify the alternator bracket. This one has been modified once in its lifetime. As you can see, it's had a few holes drilled and there's a bit of a slot there, so that's not going to cut it, mainly because the way it's drilled now, the alternator pulley is sort of as an extreme, not the same angle as the front pulley, the crankshaft pulley. With these cars, the alternator is bolted to the passenger side. There's two provisions there for it. Lucky for us, there is two threaded bungs in a similar location on the other side. Makes the alternator sit higher, which is no problem. But I really want to get that angle of the pulley to match so we don't have any problems with belts slipping off and what have you. So I zeroed the angle gauge on the crank pulley. And about 1.5 degrees. I'd like that to match. Plus it gives me a good opportunity to make a new bracket. So here is the original hacked out bracket. So the first thing I notice is the mounting holes there and wherever it landed here weren't 100% in line with each other, hence why the bracket was sort of sitting off to one side, which gave us that angle. Also, we did notice that the alternator pulley wasn't quite in line with the crank pulley. It was sort of a little bit further back, and as you can see, it sort of run out of room there. So my idea is to cut the backing plate off, keep this bit because the alternator fits inside there and bolts into there. I'm going to use another bit of flat bar like this and have the mounting bolts in line, but either below or above the actual bracket. That way you can still bolt the bracket onto the block and hopefully my measurements are all good and we can have the alternator pulley directly in line with the crank pulley. Alright, I've cut a bit of flat bar, the same thickness, if not maybe a little bit thicker. So this original part of the bracket is going to be welded onto the bar there. Now, so the holes are 45mm centers. For adjustment purposes, I'm going to have them closer to the left here. That way, if once I do some measuring, if I have to move the bracket somewhere here and weld it there, then I can do that. Okay, probably the most important thing is when I weld this on and when I mark and drill the holes for mounting to the block, they need to be dead straight. If the holes are out or if I welded this crooked, then I might as well should have used this. So I want to get as I said earlier, I want to get the pulley and the crank pulley to line up near on 100%. So I'll mark my holes, drill them out, mount the plate to the block, see what I'm working with, and I'll continue. let's see how good my hand drilling is. See if I need to elongate any holes, which I really hate doing. Beautiful. So I got a measurement from the end of the pulley on the alternator to the start of the bracket, and that's 55 millimeters. So I have to grab the measurement from the end of this pulley, measure in 55 millimeters, mark it, and that's where I should weld the bracket onto, I think. Okay, so I've just got the bracket tacked on there to the plate of the bracket. See, I don't know where this is from. I think Matt said he got that from a different car, so hopefully we can make that work, because I don't see why not. Might need spacers though, so for the time being I will just sit it in there so it doesn't drop and hit the engine bay. Okay. There's a bit of play there. That's because I don't have the sleeve in there and it's not all tightened up, but grab my angle gauge. Zero that off. Okay, so 0 there. .9, 0. So I've got like millimeters of adjustment, so I can probably get it to 0, no worries. So that's good. Should be okay for a V-belt, I'd imagine. But now we just want to see whether the track between this pulley and the crank pulley is straight. So grab my measurements, or grab my straight edge rather. I use this because it's actually pretty thick and doesn't flex easy. Oh, having said that, it is actually bent. Let me just square it up on a flat surface. Much better. That is spot on. Absolutely spot on, perfect. And I'm actually going to take a photo with my phone and send it to old mate Matt. Beautiful. Well, take it all off, fully weld it, clean up the bracket, maybe grind the edges down, make it nice and smooth. Sweet. Alright, that's much better than before. So yeah, quick video today. The 4K or 5K. What engine is it? 5K. The 5K alternator bracket sits on the passenger side. So we just modified the original one, as you've seen in the video, to suit the driver's side. Fair enough too, because with these sort of slant Toyota engines, there's so much room on the driver's side, and everything is on the passenger side, so it gets a bit busy down there. So yeah, that's it. Thanks very much. Cheers. See you.